Hello and happy today your way. I'm your host Chuck Beard, coming to you from the NECAT Network PEG Studios right here in Music City, and this is Metro Arts Forging Ahead. Every episode of this show brings together three Nashville artists who you may or may not already know from their various professional titles and roles around town. Within each lineup of featured artists, the categories of their day jobs vary. One is always someone who practices their art, but also works at a local arts organization or arts-related nonprofit. The second artist is an independent professional, and the third artist is someone else who is also an employee within the Metro Nashville government. If you're a returning viewer, you already know we always feature an artist doing a live painting to capture the essence of what each episode becomes in real time. The canvas for the live painting is provided by Jerry's Artorama, and the other materials for the artwork are provided by the Turnip Green Creative Reuse. And all 10 paintings of the first season will be featured throughout the hallways of NECAT Network until the pop-up exhibit in December for the live season finale at the Forge, Nashville. And today's live painter is Julia Tong. I'm so excited that Julia is here today. She is a contemporary painter and historian whose creative journey began with both music and visual art at a very early age. She studied singing at Berklee College of Music and now studies classical Chinese history with a focus on psychological impact of military events and postmodernist historiography. She drives inspiration in her visual art from expressionism, impressionism, and neo-baroque to explore emotion, light, and symbolism. Try saying that 3 times fast. A classical story about another creative superstar who has a personal story that inspires me and intelligence that makes me smarter just being in the same room with this person. Thank you for being here with us today, Julia. Can you briefly share anything else that you'd like to share, what they usually tell anybody else you're meeting for the first time that I didn't say?
Yeah. I have a very sassy cat, and I love wearing pink, and I love animals. I think they connect us with the community in a very special way, and I hope that I can show some of that passion tonight in the show.
Cool. Well, in each show, I've given each live painter and panel of guests a general theme of the episode, an ice-breaking thought of sorts. With so many activities, festivals, and events involving food components and collaborations to bring in crowds like snacks at gallery openings or film release parties, I thought an interesting theme for today's show would be food for thought, art, and Nashville life all around. Julia, what does that initially spark other than our pre-show talk about an idea that you're probably going to make happen in reality? So you have a lot of thoughts on food. Tell us this.
Yes, I think food, anything that connects us with our instincts are very important, and it should be more recognized in an artistic way. I believe that to show things that we instinctively love and desire artistically is a very human thing, and if a community does it together, it will be a very moving experience, a connecting experience of spirits and knowledge and feelings.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, and we look forward to seeing how the canvas develops. So.
Thank you.
The first guest I want to introduce is the artist who practices their art while spending a lot of their time working with a local arts organization. Not only is this artist a freelance choreographer, she is also the founder of the arts organization called Dance, raised in Atlanta, trained at Interlochen Arts Academy, and with a BFA in contemporary performance and composition. I'm talking about the one and only Asia Pyron. Asia, so glad you could be here with us today. Quick question, what was the first dance performance you ever did, and when did you make the decision in your heart to pursue dance professionally?
Yes, hi Chuck.
Hello.
Yeah, my first performance probably as a dancer was my mom went to Spelman College in Atlanta, and they had a dance program there for children, and I remember dancing to SOS by Rihanna, and that was probably the best moment of my life. And to be honest, I probably have been dancing in grocery stores for a really long time before that. I've always wanted to be a dancer. I've never not wanted to be a dancer. And so, but when I really decided to go professional was when, unfortunately, the Spelman's Children's Dance Theater had closed and it got underfunded. And so they had to shut down. And my mom asked me, are you going to, do something else? Or do you want to find a new studio? And do you want to continue? And I knew that I was going to continue doing my dancing and choreography and pursuing it professionally, probably when I was 10.
Awesome. That's just classic Asia if you don't know her, because turning a negative into a positive is what she does every day. So thank you for being here.
So sweet,
We'll talk
thank
more
you.
about other things soon. Thanks, Asia. Our second artist is someone who also works at Metro. She spends her days as the creative director and community liaison at the Nashville Fair, but she is also a Grammy-nominated graphic designer with over 25 years of experience in design of all kinds. Jami Anderson is a graphic designer and photographer who has worked her way through varied creative environments in Austin, Atlanta, and Cincinnati before deciding to call Nashville home, and we're better for that. Thank you for being here, Jami. Quick question for you. What was the design that got you that Grammy nomination, and what was the quick story about you getting a professional job from your art way back when, in the first time as well?
Hey, Chuck.
Hello.
That piece was actually a complete CD package for an Americana artist called Adrienne Young, and she was backed by the band that sings Wagon Wheel. Old Crow Medicine Show. And it was a 6-panel fold-out CD package with a 22-page lyric booklet, a sticker, and a pack of seeds. It was called Plow to the End of the Row, funnily enough. And there was a video producer on Music Row that really liked the package and decided to put it up for a Grammy nomination, and the Academy gave it the nod, so we were one of 5 that year.
And what was the first time you ever got a professional graphic, or was that the first one?
That was the
Grammy
first
instant.
CD package I ever did.
Okay.
My first professional job in Nashville having to do with that was I'd gotten my website up. I was a starving artist, and a man called me and wanted me to take a photo of some old things coming out of a trunk, kind of like in an attic. And so I staged it and I shot it for him and I gave it to him, and he said, "How much will that be?" And I was like, $50, and he laughed at me and gave me $150, and that was my first professional job here, was that photo shoot.
That's awesome. And that's kind of like a classic artist story too, of like somebody wanted to buy something of original art and being like, I don't know, you tell me what you want
Yes.
people to write.
Absolutely.
He used it for an album cover, so.
That's great. Thank you for that, Jami. Finally, the third featured artist of this episode, a truly independent artist and movie in the making with his creative journey, in my opinion. Israel Garcia is a creative filmmaker and founder of Bad Iguana Productions, an audio-visual company based in the U.S. Originally from Ecuador, Israel brings a bold, authentic voice to storytelling with work spanning from short films, branded content, documentaries, and community-driven projects. Israel, thank you for being here today as well. Question for you is, what was the first movie that inspired you to want to create film, and what was the first project that you created?
Whew. Hi, thank you for having me here. First, actually, it wasn't a movie. The first thing that I watched that inspired me to pursue this craziness of art, it was a music video. I don't know if you remember Meatloaf.
Mm-hmm.
The music video of "I Do Anything for Love."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I remember that I was maybe 8 years old or something like that, and I just woke up to go to school, and I was asleep. I was standing there. My mom was like, "Hurry up!" and the shirt on, and there was MTV in the morning. She always put MTV in the morning, and the music videos would come out. I remember waking up to the sound of the motorcycle of that music video. It's the first thing you see. And I was like this, watching my mom here. I was like this, and I fell in love with that production. And I remember thinking that I want to do that kind of things. But I was a kid, a poor kid in Ecuador that only could dream about it, right? Then years later, well, I don't like Michael Bay as a director, but then I found out that he shot that music video.
Oh, wow.
It was like, oh, Michael Bay, you're my inspiration. Okay, cool. And then now I am here, and I shot a music video for Jelly Roll. So that was like kind of a full circle thing, because now I can shoot music videos, and I try to tell stories just like he did in that music video.
Now, what was it like going back, when you saw that video, what was the first thing that you created as far as with film or anything? Like, not even for a job, just
It was a
from
short
that
film.
inspiration? Okay.
It was a short film. It was just me, a couple kids that were not actors, and I remember there was a Christian thing that I shot, and that was when I got here. Because in Ecuador, I work as a producer, and I became a producer that didn't shoot anything, really. I was producing, but now as a creative director behind the camera myself, it was a short film here that I don't remember the name, but that was like 12 years ago. But yeah, that was the first narrative thing that I shot.
Awesome. I always think about like the different conversations we have here and then different inspirations, and I'm just picturing somebody that's watching this show that's going to go back and watch the Meatloaf video and hear your commentary. And go, yeah, no, it's like watching Terminator 2 recently with my family. It's like it still holds up.
Yeah,
it's the things that inspire us. That inspiration holds up. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll get to hear more from these featured guests about the why behind what they do for work and art. We'll be right back.
Did you know Metro Arts and Nashville Public Library have a free lending library? Library card holders can choose from a selection of artworks by local Nashville artists and borrow for up to 3 months. The collection includes framed paintings, photographs, and mixed media. After 3 months, bring the artwork back and borrow a different piece. Available at Donaldson, East, Green Hills, Hermitage, Madison, Old Hickory, and Southeast branches of Nashville Public Library. For more information and to browse the collection online, please visit library.nashville.gov.
Hello, I'm Erin Hughley, Director of Operations at The Forge Nashville, and you are watching NECAT. At The Forge, our mission is to give more people access to the tools, space, and support they need to succeed as makers and artists. The Forge welcomes beginners, creatives, and aspiring entrepreneurs, and provides opportunities to youth in underserved communities. To find out more, visit us on the web at theforgenashville.org.
What's NECAT?
A place for anyone.
Sure. NECAT Network.
That's Nashville Education, Community, and Arts Television.
Everyone knows that.
But did they know that NECAT runs 3 television stations that serve counties all over Middle Tennessee?
We know that! But what a lot of people don't know is that NECAT is also an active community partner.
That's right. We're more than a television network. We love Nashville, and we love supporting as many organizations any way we can.
From Friends Life to Nashville Predators Foundation, NECAT provides studio access and training to help community organizations. So when you think of NECAT,
remember, we're way more than a television station.
We're Nashville.
Thank you, Predators!
Hello, I'm Stephanie Pruitt-Gaines, poet and founder of the Creativity Bar, an artsy playroom for grown-ups. You can learn more about us at www.thecreativity.bar. And you are tuned in to Nashville's favorite station for the arts, education, and free speech, NECAT, home of Metro Arts Forging Ahead. To learn more about how you can start your own show, visit them on the web at necatnetwork.org.
Metro Nashville Arts Commission, or Metro Arts, is the Office of Arts and Culture for the City of Nashville and Davidson County. We believe that arts drive a more vibrant and equitable community. We strive to ensure that all Nashvillians have access to a creative life through community investments, artist and organizational trainings, public art, and direct programs that involve residents in all forms of arts and culture. For more information on Metro Arts, visit us on the web at metroartsnashville.com.
All right, welcome back to Metro Arts Forging Ahead. Again, I'm your host, Chuck Beard, and thank you for taking a break and then coming back with us. I forgot to mention somebody that is not here, but is here in spirit, last and certainly never the least. Someone who is larger than life and Nashville, my friend Willie Sims, AKA Big Fella. Big Fella is the ultimate bridge builder dedicated to fostering art, community, and connection. Big Fella is an entertainer, ambassador, and entrepreneur. He is a devoted husband and father, the ultimate friend and artist, always productive on several projects every day. And I'm hoping he's gonna, wait a second, I think Big is calling in right now. Big, are you here?
Man, thank you for that introduction, Chuck, AKA Chucky Boo Boo, my man. Look, and thank you to all of y'all sitting on that panel right now. We appreciate y'all for coming on and sharing with us as we forge ahead. I'm at the Forge right now as we speak. You hear the sounds of makers going on in the background. You hear it. Anyway, look, my first question is for you, Jamie. Jamie, I hate that I'm not there because I really wanted to meet you. I really did. Chuck, please don't let her leave without giving her my information. Jamie, we gotta get up. Okay, so my first question. I got two questions, but I'm just gonna ask you this one. I'm gonna ask you this one for the sake of time. Okay, so people always say that Nashville reminds them of Austin, right? Being from Austin and seeing Nashville's ascension to becoming the it city, what you think about that statement? You know, what you think about that statement? Also, what are some things that Nashville could learn from Austin as far as the creative community and maybe avoiding some pitfalls that Austin went through, since you've seen both of them?
Yes, definitely when I moved here back in 2001, I heard that a lot. Nashville was coming, the next Austin. And there were definitely a lot of parallels. A, they're both very hot. But B, coming from Austin, what I found here in Nashville is that while it is hard to kind of break the crust or break in when you first get here, once you get your first job and get going, it is like a big little town. And you're out for the first couple of years meeting people and networking, and you get to know people and what they do, and it's just as easy here to form a great network of people that support you just like it was there. And I found that really refreshing. My first, the reason I came to Nashville was I worked at Hatch Show Print for 2 weeks as a vacation from my other job. And it really reminded me a lot of Austin. And I had a voice in my head that said, you must move here. And I remember I stayed at the Drake Motel on Murfreesboro Pike. So that was
awesome.
Great.
Yeah, it Hatch Show, it reminds me of, like, we've talked on this show several times with people that were at Watkins Community College, and that same kind of just teamwork and people that come out of there. It was just, yeah, it's a unique team to be a part of, and history and legacy, and people that come there are not lost when they're there.
Yes,
so it's
for
really
sure.
Neat. Well, speaking of little jobs and then more moving on jobs to Nashville, like you work at the Nashville Fair. Tell us how you got there and what are some of the things that you enjoy from your role there?
I started out entering my photography in the Nashville Fair, and then I heard they needed some help. My husband was the pickle chairman where he set up the canning department, and they needed someone in floral and miniature habitats. And so I became a department head, and then I heard they needed somebody to design the schedules, so I started designing the schedules and just got more into helping out at the fair. And then when the state fair moved to a rural county, the person that was the fair manager there stayed in Nashville, and we started the Nashville Fair. He called me up and said, hey, do you want to come build this new fair with me? And I said, I am in. Yeah. So.
Well, what are some of the things that people may not know about the Nashville Fair that you appreciate, and or what they should know, you know?
The Nashville Fair is really dedicated to lifting up and showcasing the community in Nashville and the metro departments. It's different from the fairs around us in that it's right here in an urban center. When the state fair moved to a rural county, it left a hole where the school children here had no place to learn about farm to food, no place to come see cows, chickens, animals that are on the farm, and left a really big hole in that education. And my wish was to do educational initiatives to get our school kids back to the fair so that they can start learning where their food comes from. We are an agriculturally based state, so they could, you know, learn safe handling habits of food. That's what part of the canning is. And of course, we team with 4-H and FFA. Plus, we have a carnival, and people come and ride the rides and eat the food, and there's lots of cultural entertainment as well. So that is basically the Nashville Fair in a nutshell.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Wait a second, I'm getting a little call. I think Big is on the line again.
This question is for the lovely Asia Pyron. Asia, I've been checking you out, and I am a fan of your choreography, woman. I love how you do what you do. More love to you. The actual question is, okay, so you from Atlanta, by way of Michigan, by way of Boston, and now you're in Nashville, Tennessee. One, what brought you to Nashville, Tennessee, and what about Nashville works for you and pie dance? And also, when you gonna give me a chance to get out there and dance? I got a leotard. I wanna put my leotard on. I wanna be choreographed. I wanna be elegant. I can do it. Put me in the game, coach.
Absolutely. You'll have the next part in my show. I'll hold him to it, too. I'll get him in class. So, yeah, definitely I am very much a traveler. And just to kind of explain, I was, this is always a lot, but I was born in Lansing, Michigan, and then my family moved to Atlanta when I was about 5 years old. But I then went to a boarding school in Traverse City, Michigan, called Interlochen Arts Academy, where I spent 4 years and got my high school degree and trained as a dancer. And then I got into the Boston Conservatory at Berkeley for my college degree. And then when I was in college, I started choreographing a lot more, and I got a lot of opportunities to showcase my work at local theaters and local festivals in Boston. And at the time, it was just me asking my friends to perform these works for me and just travel with me and see what happens. And then eventually I started an Instagram and I called it Pie Dance, and I was like, okay, great, like I got this company. What do I do now? What do I want to do when I graduate? Do I want to commit to choreography, commit to like building a company, or do I want to be in a company? And I soon realized my dream was to just immediately start a company. I didn't have that much of an urge to go out and audition and try to find a company that was a good fit for me. I knew that I was a good fit for me. And so I decided to take Pie Dance to Nashville because I wanted to, one, go back to a little bit of a small town. And if you've been to Traverse City, Michigan, if you've been to just that small town area, I really enjoy nature. I love space. Boston was very different for me. Even Atlanta is not the kind of city that Boston is. And so I was not that attracted to New York or LA. I really wanted somewhere with space, but with substance. And so Nashville really seemed like a great fit. I came for a New Dialect dance intensive, and New Dialect is another local dance company. And just being in Nashville for 2 weeks and dancing and getting to know the community and seeing how welcoming it was, and looking at the Parthenon every morning, and I just was really at peace. I was very happy immediately, and I felt like not only was there happiness in Nashville, but there was space for more dance and more dance companies. So I felt like, oh, like what better place to be if not this place? And so, yeah, in September 2020, I packed my bags and I decided to come here, and ever since I've gotten here, it's just been a major blessing.
Awesome. Again, we're better for you being here, and we'll talk more about the dance in a minute, but like talking about instantly being pleasantly surprised, I turned and looked over at the canvas and it went from nothing to something beautiful. I didn't know if Julia would like to tell us where she's at with it and what's going on over here.
I am making Christoph appear. Christoph is a goat in Nashville Zoo. And he is so friendly and sweet. He's the oldest goat in the zoo, and he's so good with kids. And that's why I really wanted to show him and show the love I have for him with water and gouache colors. And I think he's starting to appear the very beginning. Yeah. Thank you.
And out of the white canvas, where are some of these colors being inspired from in general, or did you see them at the zoo?
I just feel this warmth from him, so I'm bringing out a lot of warm colors, but I'm trying to balance it out with some colder tones to emphasize him.
Awesome. Any highlights from the conversation so far that you've been listening, or are you already like blinders on the canvas, or?
I'm pretty locked in, but I would say I also went to Berkeley.
Yes.
And I agree with what you mean, how Boston was. I lived in New York and I was so done. I couldn't. And when I came to Nashville, I feel like so much more creative space for us, for artists.
Absolutely,
So yeah, I agree with you.
Small world.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
No.
beautiful work.
That is awesome. It is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Thank you for sharing, Julia.
Thanks.
Once again, we are going to take a quick break here on Metro Arts Forging Ahead. When we come back, we're going to hear more from today's guests about all the work they're doing these days. Please stay tuned.
The Forge Nashville mission is to give more people affordable access to the professional tools, space, and support they need to succeed as a maker and artist, and to provide new opportunities to youth and underserved communities. Welcoming beginners, passionate creators, and aspiring entrepreneurs, the Forge changes lives. The Forge has a place for everyone. Whether you're looking for a full table in a shop, a community co-working space, or just want to support Nashville's makers. To find out more, visit us online at theforgenashville.org. The Forge Nashville, meet your makers.
My name is Chuck Beard.
And everybody call me Big Fella.
I call him Willie Sims. He's my friend.
And you can catch us right here, Metro Arts Forging Ahead on NECAT.
Every week. Tune in.
Hello, I'm Annie Herlocker, Regional Manager of the Bellevue Branch of Nashville Public Library. You are watching NECAT. NPL's mission is to inspire reading, advance learning, and connect our community. To find out more about NPL's collection, programs, and services, visit us on the web at library.nashville.gov.
Coffee Talk with Metro Arts is a monthly, sometimes bi-monthly, community gathering where artists, neighbors, and those looking to get involved in the Nashville art scene can connect and share their stories, learn about upcoming projects and opportunities, and meet the people creating exciting new art in Nashville, all while enjoying a nice cup of coffee. For more details, visit us on the web at metroartsnashville.com.
Welcome back to Metro Arts Forging Ahead. I'm your host, Chuck Beard, in conversation with a few Nashville artists who inspire me and many others in this city. And wouldn't you know, Big, do I hear you again?
All right, so my next question is for my man, Isracho. What it do, Isracho? Look, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I am a fellow MTS viewer, and man, I got nothing but love for a Blue Raider and a special place in my heart for Murfreesboro, Tennessee, man. I don't care what nobody say, man. One love, Murfreesboro. Okay, so the question for you, bro, the question is, you have done film, advertising, music videos, marketing, and you've been a professor. Out of all of those, which one is your favorite? And at this point in your career, which one of those is like closer to your passion?
Thank you for asking the question. It's hard to pick a favorite. I like storytelling. I love to tell stories. I like to create. I like to write and shoot those scripts that I write. I don't get the chance to shoot them all, but I think my favorite part is to get a group of people, of creators, and make something happen, create a new world, something that I love too is teaching. And one of the things I told my students is like, my favorite part of this industry is that we get to play God. Like, we create stories, we create new worlds. If you watch Star Wars, right, the whole universe was created. And you have characters that you develop those characters, and they all have a little bit of you as the world that maybe you want to live in, or that character is the hero that you want to be at some point, and you just start creating that. And that's my favorite part, is the creating part of all of this. And also something that Aisha said that I just wanted to point out, maybe it's not related, but you said something that really got me, was like, I was a good fit for me.
Nashville,
and that was like inspiring, really, because sometimes as artists we don't have a chance to to do the things that we want to do for other people, right? But when we find a place like this, like Nashville, is open to creative people, we understand that we can do it, and we are a good fit for the whole creative community, and we can start creating, getting together. This is what we do with La Misión con Arte. We bring a lot of people, a lot of artists together, and we start presenting different kind of arts, like film, like painting, photography, music writing, songwriting, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, going back to the favorite part, I think it's just creating.
Cool. Well, you mentioned La Misión con Arte. Go ahead and tell everybody what that is about too, and then I want to go back before you came to NTSU. So go ahead.
Yeah. La Misión con Arte is an organization where we work with different artists. We try to reconnect the new generations of Latinos, mainly with their roots through art, right? In any discipline. But this is not just close to Latinos. It's open to everyone. Now, it started like with Latinos, but we're opening to everyone because we understand that we all are part of one thing. Where in art brings all of us together. So this organization is really focusing on bringing together artists from everywhere to showcase their art and to obviously teach other kids that want to learn art, any kind of art, to do it. Because we are all creative, and we're all talented. Maybe one is more talented than the other one, but education in art allows you to bring out that you didn't even think you had. So that's what we do in La Misión con Arte.
Cool. And when I'm thinking of different worlds, and you mentioned Meatloaf when you were a kid, as far as the video inspiring you, but like can you give me a quick view of like what was the creative scene like where you grew up in Ecuador, and then also when you came to the U.S. The first time I ever met you, you were like, yeah, I moved here and I didn't know any English, and then here you are like speaking better English than me at that point at the table. But I'm saying like that's a whole other world and a lot of bravery, and on top of just finding yourself as an artist. Can you speak to like what that scene was like, and then what you thought of the U.S. before moving here?
You know, one thing that like happened to me is, and I think that happens to many people in our countries, because we're so focused on our parents are so focused on their kids to become professionals on something like doctor, engineer, that kind of stuff. Art is not an option. Art is not gonna give you money. Art is not. Don't even think about it, right? So art wasn't part of my life when I was a kid. I loved watching art. I loved watching paintings. I was good at drawing, but my mom was like, "Why are you wasting your time there?" My mom wasn't supportive with that. So, and that happened not just to me. Like many people in Ecuador, they have the same mentality, sadly. But one day I was just looking for a job, and I landed this job in a TV production company. And then I reconnected with my childhood when I was a kid. I was like, oh, you remember I wanted to do this my whole life. And that made me like pursue this and made a career with production. I started in TV, actually. And when I came here to the United States, was really hard because, I was excited because, this is the United States, they make movies and all of that. And then I got here, like I have like 10 years producing. I can get a job. I got here, I didn't speak English. I was like, that was 2012. I was like, what am I gonna do here? They don't understand what I'm saying. I don't understand what the heck they're saying. So it's like, it was super hard. And it was really disappointing. So I started working in construction, and I was a waiter and that kind of things. And I forgot my dream at that point. And everything I remember when I got these jobs, and every kind of work is good, right? And as long as it's honest. But my mom wasn't very supportive of me at that point, and she was like, when I was a kid, she was like telling me things like I was gonna be good for like being a janitor or trash guy, or that kind of stuff, jobs. So there was never like that kind of, what's the word? push from my mom to be something else. So that was on my own. And so when I got here, I was working in these jobs. I was like, oh, my mom must be so proud right now. She sees me doing this kind of stuff, cleaning floors and stuff like that. And I was laughing but then it's like I remember again and that I had a dream. So I went to school, MTSU. I went to MTSU. I graduated at MTSU and in film. I networked there and I ended up teaching there at MTSU. My first year was in 2020, and COVID hit. Actually, one of my students was working here, so I'm so proud that seeing her here working with you guys.
It all makes sense in hindsight, and even with your story, like we could spend hours and hours listening to your story. Like I said, you're a movie in the making, in my opinion, that I want to see. And talking to Julia before and hearing about her story, she grew up in China and moved in a very young age, right? And then you came back at 18 to the U.S. So similarly, like, what is that like for you and your family story and your decision to come back to the U.S.?
Yeah, thank you, Chuck.
Yeah.
My story is, I had a very great time growing up in China, even though it was very hard. Culturally, it is immensely different than it is here. When I first moved back to the States, I was very shocked with how people spoke, even with sarcasm. We didn't speak with sarcasm in Chinese, so I did not understand sarcasm, hence I did not understand half the time what people were saying. And the culture shock, though, helped me grow because it put me into a position to be a bilingual, bicultural person that can express things artistically, academically, from so many different narratives. I'm very grateful for that experience. There were tough times with how the different culture is. In Chinese culture, things are more about the internal than external. In American culture, it's a lot about external, and they're both good. And I find myself able to combine those gradually.
How do you see that coming through your art or what you create in different facets?
I like to leave space for things. I like to create space in art. There's always an angle, a movement, and I think that's how I express it, where it's not flat, but it's also not completely sculpted. It exists in its own world, and I think creating that world is part of my expression of the unique things I experience.
Cool. And not to like rip the rug from under the table or anything, but like, can you give the quick story? I mean, you probably get some of your bravery from your mom as far as you said something about a story and then her coming to the country with you, and I don't want to spoil it, but go ahead and say a little bit of it.
Yes, thank you. I was very moved. My mom, when she first immigrated to Canada and then coming to the States, she got pregnant with me and she had to hide me in her belly, like wear this huge coat because the immigration officers were kind of examining her and trying to see is she pregnant or not, is she bringing in a baby. So she had to be even though she couldn't do much, but that psychological memory really hit her, but I think it also empowered her that we did this, you know what I mean? And then I was born here, and I'm very moved for everything she's done for making me who I am.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
I want to go on the record of just saying that I went to the Coldplay concert with my wife recently, and got a T-shirt there.
With your wife.
Right, shut up. And, but it was a T-shirt, and I got it. I don't normally get T-shirts from concerts, but it said "Everyone's an alien somewhere." So I just thought about that just when you were saying that. So I appreciate that. We need to take one more quick break here on Metro Arts Forging Ahead before our final segment. Thank you for sticking with us. We'll be right back.
NECAT stands for Nashville Education Community Arts Television, and our mission is twofold: expose Middle Tennessee viewers to arts and education programming created both locally and around the world, and teach individuals and organizations who wish to make TV shows how to do so. Let them use our equipment and resources, and then broadcast those shows for them. For more information on how to get started creating your own TV show with NECAT, visit us on the web at necatnetwork.org.
My name is Jen Lin. I'm the founder director of Chinese Arts Alliance of Nashville. You can find us at www.chineseartsalliance.org. And we love NECAT.
Metro Arts' vision is that every person should have access to a creative life, and few places are more accessible than our city's public library. Metro Arts launched the collection in partnership with Nashville Public Library, established with the goals of expanding access to the arts for all Nashvillians while providing direct support to local artists. 60 original artworks from Nashville area artists are available for anyone with a library card to check out at NPL's Donaldson, East, Green Hills, Hermitage, Madison, Old Hickory, and Southeast locations. For more information and to browse the collection online, please visit library.nashville.gov.
Hi, my name is Dr. Meg Jordan. You're watching NECAT, and you can find me at www.megjoart.com.
Hi, I'm Rashad Rayford. You're watching NECAT. I am a professional speaker. You can find more information about me at rashadthepoet.com.
Suppose for just a moment you were Nashville's government. You have a bit of money and you want some to be spent. And keeping Nashville beautiful's a priority for you. You want to help your people out too. What would you do? You could start a Metro Arts. 15 citizens on a commission. Art is what they know. Them and 5 committees decide where the money goes. And dedicated staff to see that all the work gets done, making Nashville better for everyone. You could start a Metro Arts. Public art and grants would each play a part. Occasionally embroiled in scandal, but it's nothing you can't handle. You should start a Metro Arts.
Welcome back to Metro Arts Forging Ahead. Again, I'm your host, Chuck Beard. Today we've had a big time learning from Pyron, Jami Anderson, Israel Garcia, and Julia Tong. In the last segment with everyone and everything going on in the world today, I just want to pin up, well, wait a second. Big, is that you? Big?
All right, so this question is for everybody on the panel. We're going to start with you, Asia. We're going to start with you. Okay, so what is one thing that you think Nashville is either missing or needs more of, but one thing that would be the biggest benefit for you as a creative or other creatives, from your perspective, the one thing that we need more of or we missing altogether that would, you know, shake it for the creatives? And then go down the line. You next, Jamie, and then my man is Racho.
Yes, that's a beautiful question. I think that personally for me, especially having experience in Boston, Massachusetts, which is a very, I'm very proud to have connections in Boston. I'm very proud of the dance community in Boston and how they have really challenged what it means to be a sustainable arts organization, project, collective. And I think that's the one thing that I think Nashville is missing the most is looking at what's been done before and ask what's not working and what could be better and maybe how we can change the script, how we can change the how to be a Metro Arts, how to be an arts organization or an arts LLC. I think that there are many pathways to becoming sustainable for your environment. And with my work with Pi Dance, even though we are extremely small right now, we are still not a nonprofit or anything like that. I am really taking the time to learn and listen and to decide what's best for Pi Dance to be able to be here as long as it can. And sometimes not having a strategic plan, not deciding to put in that work of raising money for the next 3 years instead of spending money for the next 3 years that you don't even know you're gonna get. I definitely am looking more for a sustainable plan. I think Nashville as a whole, especially in the arts, community can really start asking questions. Why do we do the things that we do? Why do we fundraise the ways that we do? And how is that going to work for what I'm doing? Maybe it might not be the same for how someone else does it.
Cool. Jamie, Big called you out next.
All right, big fella. Mine is simple in concept, but probably harder in execution. Because I feel like a lot of arts and nonprofits and culture and music organizations in Nashville kind of operate in a silo, I would love if we had a big directory for all of the arts and cultural organizations. It was just like one place where you could go and see who all of the Nashville artists are in this area, who all the Nashville dancers are in their organizations and companies, and it has like a brief bio on each one. So it's just like a big directory on the richness of Nashville's art culture, so that you could go and find exactly what you're looking for, how to get in touch with them, and bring people out of the woodwork and shine a light on the organizations that sometimes are toiling in obscurity.
Yeah. What about you, Israel?
Been thinking about my answer all this time, and I think the one thing that Nashville needs the most right now is unity, and it goes along with what you were saying too. We are so diverse, and we diverse in art and in ethnicities and everything, and obviously different ethnicities bring a different kind of culture, different kind of art, and we can unite this in a way that everyone has some kind of exposure, right? I think art can thrive better. I mean, it's doing well so far, but I think there's a lot more that could be done, and if you bring diversity together, and we can create beautiful things with that.
Yeah. Julia, did you hear the question from Big? Not to stop you mid-stroke, but like, what's something that Nashville's missing in your opinion for artists? You're an artist, you can speak to that.
Thank you. Yeah. I think a space for silence and collaboration, which is different from what we experienced during COVID, which is isolation, not silence. Spiritually, my family, especially my mother, who practiced Buddhism and Taoism, has been in spaces where a whole week she wouldn't speak, but somehow have this total spiritual connection with the person there, but they would never spoken to each other. They even hugged, they cried, somehow something very vulnerable. And I always believe that having that mental space available for creatives or for teaching people how to create in complete silence, something that's dedicated, it is very important to a city, because that's what a lot of temples had in different parts of Asia, and I really believe that could be a fun and meaningful idea.
That's cool. Yeah. I've heard of people going to that Abbey of Gethsemane in Kentucky, so similarly, you don't have to really be a follower of that religion to be a part of it. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for that. A question that I want to throw out, let's go with Israel first, since you were last on the panel last time, of just like, if money was not an option, or you won the lottery, what is a project that you would want to do with Bad Iguana or anything, and anybody in Nashville? Like you're saying, unity in your last answer, where would you go with that, or something
that's actually a good one. We are right now, we've been pre-producing this feature film that we're gonna want to shoot in Peru this year. It's been 5 years in the making, and we have everything. The only thing that we need is money. So if I get money, that movie is made. Like, I will make that movie. And I would also create something here, a kind of space that goes along with what Julia was saying, for that kind of stuff, for connection with yourself, with being more spiritual in a way that you can connect to yourself and other people, create more empathy. Because I think we need a place where we can be free. Because even at home, you cannot be yourself. You cannot be free because you are the dad, or you are the sister, or you are the son, or whatever you are. But you have to have that role, and you need to be strong. But me and myself, Sometimes I go and just walk on the close to a river in between among the trees, so there's no people, and I start close my eyes and start crying because I need to let many things out. And I think creators and artists we are frustrated sometimes because we don't have an outlet sometimes. And to me, that works. Like, maybe I'm not creating by letting things go, and that's my way of channeling my spirituality or whatever, but it feels better. I think we need a place like that, and I would do something with that money.
Jami, going to you, quick, rapid questions while we finish this out. With everything, a lot of things being very chaotic other than just the temperatures outside these days, what are you doing creatively to keep you sane?
I am keeping an open dialogue with all of my friends, even the ones where we don't necessarily agree, just to try to build bridges. I think it would be great if they brought Lincoln Douglas debate back into the school so that our kids learn how to argue effectively again, and instead of, name calling and things of that situation. I think once we sit down and actually talk to our friends, the things that seems like that has tried to divide us, we're actually more alike than we think. You said quick.
No, that was quick. That was great. Succinct. Asia, you have a unique perspective of like coming in and getting a grant when you came to town through Metro Arts, working at Metro Arts with communications, and now being on the outside looking in, but taking all the knowledge of like how the meat's made in between, and just getting both sides of the curtain. And I just wanted to ask you what's your perspective of not just the same question we had earlier of like how can Nashville do better, but how has that experience being on both sides of the curtain helped you develop as an artist and your company?
Absolutely, yeah. I am so proud of being able to be a part of Metro Arts on the team and on the staff, because I think especially as an artist and a young artist that had always been supported throughout high school and everything, and always had amazing institutions to work at and to create at, and really having just so many resources around me. I really didn't know how it happened. I really didn't know. Like, I had no idea why we have so many struggles in the arts, because I was always in the mecca of arts. I was always in very amazing institutions. And so being a part of Metro Arts really allowed me to learn about the red tape, the hard conversations, the work of staff having to fight for arts and arts funding, and letting that staff also be local artists. They're not just government affiliates, they are also creators, and I am a creator, and being a part of that, it was really insightful, and I felt almost blessed. I feel like a lot of my colleagues have no idea what that side of things are. And I think if you are an artist and you don't decide to teach yourself or be interested in what happens at commission meetings, what happens at these things, you know what I mean, then you lose a lot. You lose a whole other half of the picture, and so I feel very lucky. I'm very thankful for that time that I had, and it really influenced how I'm going to lead the next generation of arts as an arts leader, and how I want to emerge as an arts leader here.
Awesome. Thank you. Wait, I'm getting another signal from Big. Big, one last time. You got me?
Thank you again, Chuck. I want to send a special thank you to the whole panel, man. Thank y'all for coming out. Jami Anderson, Israel Garcia, Asia Pyron. Is it Pyron or Pyron? I like Pyron. I want to send a big thank you on behalf of Metro Arts, the Nashville Education Community Arts Television Station, or NECAT, WNXP, the Nashville Public Library. Who else? I'm at the Forge right now. The Forge and Television. Come back next time, and until then, peace on your dumb ass.
Thanks, Big. Also, thanks to Jamie and Julia, not mentioned in the last part. But that's about all the time we have today for this episode of Metro Arts Forging Ahead. Thanks to everyone on the show, everyone listening and watching to this show, everyone at NECAT, Cameron, Eric, and more behind the camera, everyone smiling in the live audience. I see you. Bless you for the sneezes. NECAT Network, the Nashville Public Library, Fellovision, Metro Arts, WXNA, Nashville Fair, La Mission Con Arte, Bad Iguana Productions, Pie Dance, Jerry's Artorama, Turnip Green Creative Reuse, and You the Viewer. We are going to end every Metro Arts Forging Ahead episode this season with the final word, as it should be, from one of our featured artists. Before he does what he do, I certainly want to thank you for tuning in here today and for staying tuned for more great stuff soon. You can see the finished product of Julia's painting over at the Forge at the live finale, at the season finale, or the NECAT Network Studios if you come by before December. Handing the curtain call back to Israel Garcia for his final words of the day. One last time, my name is Chuck Beard, and I hope you're feeling better about your Nashville world after listening to some of our creative friends and seeing just how they are making Nashville and the world a more beautiful place. Israel, please share your power.
Look, I know times are hard, and sometimes we find it difficult to fulfill our dreams and stuff like that, but it's not that hard if you put your heart into it. Again, a kid from Ecuador, from a poor family, and that sounds like a cliche, but it's true, is here today in front of this camera talking to you about the things that he's doing with great artists next to him. Everything is possible. And if it's difficult, it's worth it. I mean, because it's difficult doesn't mean it's impossible. You can do it, we can do it. I'm here, I made it. If I made it, you can make it. And art is everywhere. Just connect with it and go for it. That would be my words.